Imagine, if you will, that you're in a country. It doesn't have to be in a country, it could be anywhere. And it could be in your neighborhood, it could be anywhere, in the park, and you see someone with a hammer and they are smashing the cross of Christ and then spitting at you. You would be horrified. You would think to yourself, what demon has gone into this individual? And quite rightfully so, to do such blasphemous, you know, behavior. There has to be some demonic force behind it. But wait for the shock. Not only that, you're going to church on a Saturday or even on a Sunday, and you're being spat at and abused. This is what happens to Christians in Israel. Now, the reason why that the Christian churches in the West don't want to talk about it is, number one, they never discuss Christian persecution. I've noticed that videos on Christian persecution does not attract a lot of Christians. They're not interested. If you talk about money, God wants to make you rich, make you prosper, then you get the audience. However, what's interesting is that persecution in Israel towards Christians, is rising, getting worse, and obviously they are concerned because it's just getting out of hand. Why are the Christians quiet in the West? For the simple reason they have a kind of a mental sickness where the Jews are regarded to be fantasy figures, almost mystical. They're like the trans community. They can't be touched. Okay, they have a special seal of approval. The government protect the trans. Well, God is protecting Jews from all criticism. Why? Because the Jews are a chosen people. So never mind. You've got LGBTQ rampant in Israel. Never mind. Is it Tel Aviv? Tel Aviv, the gay capital of Israel. But still, they call it, the Holy Land. Why? Because the Jews live there. Right? And also, they, relying on, a sort of, how can I put it, a pseudo interpretation of, the Jews are going to have their land back, etc., which is unbiblical, and the Jews are going to become Christians, yet again unbiblical. Right? Some Jews have become Christians, others will not. Isaiah 53 says his own, turned him down, and knew him not, forsook him. And even today, the Jews, hence why they smashed the cross, etc., they're looking for their own political Messiah. Okay? So they're not interested, in Christians. They're not interested in the Christian Messiah, but still the Christians are interested in them because the Christians think that they can't be Christians without the Jews. They need the Jews. They need that crutch. Or just like the Catholics, they think they need the Pope for grace. Okay? They can't survive without the Catholic Church. It's the same thing. The Christians think they can't survive without Jews. Right? The Jews have become, the Holy Grail. Right? Unless the Jews are saved, then forget it. And this is as a result of this sickness. Why, the Christians have turned a blind eye. All this, Donald Trump going to and what's his name, and Boris going to Israel with a cap. That's not biblical. That's to do with politics. But the church will twist things, for their own fantasy. When you see Donald Trump, in I think it was Jerusalem, wearing a not Muslim cap, wearing a Jewish cap, they wear a Muslim cap too. You know, it's politics. It's nothing to do with religious prophecy, etc. You know, this is what happens when you have a Jewish Zionist mindset. You interpret things according to that, and as a result, you're not interested in Christians being killed, Christians being persecuted in Israel, because Jews can't do anything wrong. Just like in the Western world, the trans can't do anything wrong. They can go into schools and strip it for the children, and people are happy with it. It's the same thing. You know, it's the same. You know, they're the Holy Grail. You know, you cannot criticize them, you know, because everything flows for them, from them, and and to them. Hence why, you know, Christendom is quiet. It's quiet. They're not going to say anything about it. You know, it's almost like to criticize them, you're inviting heavenly fire. You know, but you try telling that, you know, to those, you know, in Israel who are going through this, you know, persecution, you know, who we spat at, you know, just for going on a daily business, we spat at, having their buildings burned down. You try telling them now, you know, that they're inviting holy fire from heaven because you're criticizing them. And this is what's happening. This is what, you know, when you don't understand text, you know, but you're reading it from a Zionist perspective. You know, the same Christian Zionist, you know, alive and kicking when Donald Trump was around. Donald Trump was going to restore Israel. Donald Trump was going to do this for Jews, not realizing it was pure political. Purely political. And where's Donald Trump now? You know, so you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, because at the end of the day, you know, when you start to, this sounds getting to me, right? When you start to look at things with a Zionist spectacles, a Zionist lens, I'm afraid you're not going to see the truth. You have to take off those Zionist lens and see it for what it is. You know, they have no land. It's been taken away from them. There's a guy I used to follow. He doesn't upload any more videos. Benjamin something. And even he, you know, and he's a Jew. He's hence Benjamin, right? Even he admitted that the Jews have no land. Even he admitted that. And he's a Jew, you know, but a Christian Jew. You know, and is a Christian Jew. But even he admitted that the land that's given to Israel by Britain in 1947 is illegal. They took that land and it's illegal from the Palestinians. It doesn't belong to them. You know, but this is where, how can I put it, strong religion will get you, where people will kill. People, you know, Muslims do it every day. People will kill because they don't understand the holy book. You know, so if the Jews went round killing people to get, you know, Jerusalem, Christians would be for it. You know, this is where religious mania gets you. You know, but they turn a blind eye, you know, to Christians who go through persecution in Israel. Why? Because the Jews are doing it. Because the Jews are doing it. If the Jews are doing it, it's so. You say with the trans agenda. The trans can do whatever they want. The trans are the holy grail. You don't touch the trans. It's the same thing. You don't touch the Jews. You know, and you know, it's shocking, really shocking, how they can still see it as holy land, and we look at it, there's nothing holy about it. You know, full of bankers and people who don't believe in, you know, God, etc. You know what they do, but they believe in something else. Although a lot of them are cashing in from their own Jewish lineage. They don't really believe in anything, but they're cashing in on it. But it's too complex to go into. I'll have to do another series to this, a longer series. But yeah, they've been killed, spat at, called names, abused, and the Christian world have nothing to say about it. They're not interested. If as I said, if the Jews went to, and they do, when they go killing Palestinian babies, but it's okay, you do it for God. This is what happens. You become immune to truth. Once you have a one-dimensional mind, it can turn you into a killer, because you're killing for God's sake. You're killing for the kingdom of heaven's sake. You're killing because you want to bring back, the land to the Jews, or fulfill the Jewish prophecy. So you will kill for it. And this is how you have religious nuts entering into churches and religious places and turning people into killers. Because if you've got a mandate, you don't care how that mandate is reached. You don't care how it's done. It could be violence. David Koresh used the same mentality. You gotta be careful. Even though I was listening, right? You gotta be careful. You really do. And I really hope you enjoy this video. And I had COVID. I was really unwell. Hence why I haven't made any videos for a while. I'm hoping to make many more. So please, let me know what you think about this. Thank you.